M23 or March 23 movement is one of more than 100 armed groups fighting Congolese forces in mineral-rich eastern DRC. It is present in North Kivu province in areas bordering Rwanda and Uganda and has more than 8,000 fighters according to the UN. So this M23 or March 23 movement comprises of more than 100 armed groups, and according to UN estimation, they have about 8,000 fighters, which 8,000 is quite a lot. It might even be far more than that. It is named after the date in 2019 of the signing of an accord between the National Congress for the Defense of the People CNDP, a Tutsi-led rebel group, and the Congolese government to end a revolt led by the Tutsis people in the eastern DRC. So this M23 or March 23 movement was founded under the basis of the agreement that was signed in 2009 between the National Congress for the Defense of the People CNDP, a Tutsi-led group, and Congolese government, which Congolese government never honored this agreement of 2009. And that is what pushed this Tutsi rebel group to reinvent themselves, and we can see the consequences. And if the issues or concerns of this M23 are not properly addressed, it might cause regional conflicts or regional wars, which we don't want at this point in time. Why is M23 fighting Congolese forces? M23 was created in 2012 after former CNDP troops rebelled against the Congolese government, accusing it of failing to implement the 2009 agreement by integrating Tutsi fighters into the army, protecting minorities, and distributing resources evenly. So you see what is causing this problem? Because Congolese government failed to honor the agreement of 2009. 3 years later, that incident of not honoring of agreement gave birth to M23 in 2012. And the content of that agreement was for the Congolese government to integrate Tutsi fighters into the Congolese army, protect minorities. That is, these people are reinventing themselves because they are being marginalized, and distributing resources evenly, which means that the resources that Congolese government is distributing is not getting to them. And that is why you see it now seems that they arm themselves and they are taking it by force. It says its objective is to safeguard the interests of the Congolese Tutsis and other minorities, including protecting them against Hutu rebel group who escaped to the DRC after taking part in the 1994 genocide that targeted Tutsis. So you see, this Tutsi rebel group has taken it upon themselves to protect the interests of the Congolese Tutsis and other minorities, including protecting them against the Hutu rebel groups who escaped to the DRC after taking part in 1994 genocide that targeted Tutsis. In 2012, the militia made significant territorial gains in eastern DRC, including brief seizing Goma before withdrawing 10 days later after an agreement brokered by neighboring nations. So now you begin to understand why this issue is the way it is. How is Rwanda involved in the eastern DRC conflict? DRC, the UN and US and other countries accuse neighboring Rwanda of backing M23, which Rwanda denies. In 2022, a group UN experts said in a report that they had solid evidence that Rwanda soldiers had been working with M23. Last July, UN experts said in a report that 3,000 to 4,000 Rwanda government forces operated with M23 in eastern DRC. Who is helping Congolese forces in eastern DRC? There are about 11,000 peacekeepers in DRC, the majority of them in the country's east, as part of the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or MONUSCO, the Southern African Development Committee mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So let us come to the fact table now. You see, Angola tried to reach an agreement between this Congo and M23, which Rwanda, which was part of the agreement, asked Congo to negotiate with these people, but Congo refused. So for the sake of Congolese people, for the sake of motherland Africa, for the sake of humanity, Congolese government, please do the right thing before this plunges Africa into a regional war, that this situation now will start escalating to neighboring countries, drawing neighboring countries into this conflict. The earlier the better. Yes, and we should all learn lesson from this, to learn to honor agreement. Learn that when you and people reach an agreement, always keep your own part of the deal, because this is what is causing a whole lot of lives, causing a whole lot of havocs, displacing a whole lot of people, and in return Congo is losing a whole lot of revenues on daily basis.